everyone, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XVI. This is episode 17. Last time we went back to the Hideaway after a just incredible series of events. We needed to collect ourselves and figure out what the hell was going on with Torgal. Why was he blue? What was going on? And then Cid's daughter Mid rolled up. Midadol being her name, her full name. Sidolphus and Midadol, and she's building a workshop. Key name Dungeon, actually, as the map calls it. And we will be now speaking with Vivian to continue and see if she's tracked Hugo's movements anywhere, considering Waloed came in and quite literally picked him up and took him away from us after we cut his hands off.
How goes the hunt for Kupka?
Largely in circles. We have myriad sightings of strange soldiers in unexpected places, but nothing definitive as yet. If only we knew for certain by what route he left Rosalith.
Well, keep at it. If anyone can piece this puzzle together, it's you. And I'm willing to wait as long as it takes.
Okay, waiting. Literally.
What? Here?
Would that be a problem?
Do you know, Clive? I believe it a mercy that you didn't inherit your father's throne. Your poor people would surely live in fear of you.
You have nothing to worry about on that front. I won't be claiming his crown.
It was a joke, Clive.
That is a relief.
Clive, have you got a minute? We, have a guest.
A guest?
Clive's not very good at picking up on that humor, is he? Uncle!
Your trouble.
Uncle!
Pleasure, in hindsight. Uncle Byron? Clive, my boy! Tap a cask and stoke the ovens, for your favourite uncle is here!
Hope he wasn't followed. We've had too many people getting followed to the Hideaway. Meanwhile, and by too many I mean just one, look at this place. Twinside, the Holy Empire of Sanbreque. Are we going to see Sylvester again? Seat of the Imperial Court. God, look at this place.
The Dalmekian government sues for peace. How shall we respond?
If they're willing to accept their fault in the matter, I see no reason to refuse them.
Still, we must insist on substantial reparations. Twinside stores are not as bottomless as reported.
Aye, and we have many more mouths to feed. We shall just have to have the Dalmecs empty their treasuries for us.
Of course, none of this would have been possible without your timely intervention, Prince Olivier.
Indeed, I doubt any of us would have had the courage to trade words with the mighty Titan, nor less the wit to win him over.
The Empire owes you a great debt.
May the blessing of the crystals go with you, Your Highness.
May the blessing of the crystals go with you.
Very good.
Somebody get this boy a chair, because his knees are gonna hurt when he grows up. God damn it. Mummy, may I sit in your lap some more? Pat my head, please. Get this man a goddamn chair. He's old enough for a chair. This is ridiculous. It's so creepy. It's weird. This whole arrangement is so bizarre. Meanwhile, Dion's just standing there like, yes, guys, I'm here too. Your favorite son, Sylvester. Me, the dominant? Bahamut? Hello? Me? Am I important? Please, Dad. Twinside is the former capital of the Crystalline Dominion. After a unilateral maneuver by the Holy Empire of Sanbreque in 873, it became the imperial capital. Sylvester literally made the smartest move without realizing in terms of his empire. He didn't know. He didn't know that he was about to lose his mother crystal, you know, in Sanbreque. He's just chilling up there, and he's like, you know what, guys? I think we should move house. Yeah, let's just go. Everybody go down south. You know, let's do that. Let's go for neutral territory. And everyone leaves. And it just happens at like the perfect time for him, because then we destroy a mother crystal, and he's like, whew, good thing that we decided to move literally like just before that. And then they just moved the capital to another mother crystal.
Now, let us come to the question of precisely when the Dalmex will withdraw their troops.
Dion's fire could rid us of them in mere moments. The men of the Fist will not withdraw until a peace treaty is concluded. So let us keep the negotiations open, give them time to gather what gold and trinkets they can, and once they deliver that which we demand, what worth is a piece of parchment?
Your Radiance, were Prince Dion to take the field, the enemy would surely send their own dominant to meet him. And while His Highness would of course prevail, there would be heavy losses on both.
You need not fear Hugo Kupka. He is engaged on the Western Front. Even were the Dalmex to send for him, he would not arrive in time. As much as I would enjoy witnessing a clash between Bahamut and Titan, it is not to be.
And what of your subjects, Your Radiance? If the fighting spread to the city proper, the people would bear the brunt of it.
There will be losses, it is true. Yet for every citizen who falls, another can be bred. For every home that burns, another can be built. The Empire will live on. Dion?
Yes, sire.
Prepare for battle.
But sire...
Do not make me repeat myself. Return to your camp and await my orders.
If that is your wish, Your Radiance, I shall depart at once.
All right, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that, because before this scene goes away, I want, while it's fresh in everyone's minds, I want to point out how amazing that mural is behind Sylvester. That is gorgeous. And I think what it's representing up at the top there, you can see the dragon Bahamut, and then that heavenly, womanly figure above, which should be Great Gregor, I believe, the one that they all pray to. That is a gorgeous piece of artwork. I love that. And I'm sympathizing with Dion here a lot more than I thought I would, because I guess we're starting to see the family tension, because we hadn't really gotten this before. This is our first sort of look at Sylvester and Dion interacting, and we can see that they're not of the same mind on this situation. Dion is quite caring and compassionate, was what we can see here in terms of people and preventing losses, and he understands the sort of destruction that can follow with a dominant's presence. And Sylvester is like, yeah, we'll just replenish those numbers. It's fine. Who cares? Like, total apathy. And then you can see that, like, you don't even need words to be spoken. You just need glances to be exchanged that this is a problem. Because look at the new favorite son. This is the new favorite son. And they're together, and he's just like the tool of the Empire. I love that that scene is very effective at just showing those things without needing to go too heavy in exposition. We just get to see Sylvester be an evil guy, and the family ties between all of these very clearly shown. This is cool, because I was about to ask, well, pose the question rhetorically of what this flower represents, because the first time we saw Sylvester, he had this flower as well. He was sniffing it for a while before he put it on a plate. It's a wyvern tail, the elegant white flower that is a symbol of the Holy Empire of Sanbreque. So he goes to prepare for war or prepare for battle with the Emperor's blessing of a wyvern tail flower. But yeah, Annabella just mothering Olivia a little too hard, because he's the new favorite. But Dion's quite cool, and he's moving up in my books now, because I was like, obviously we didn't know his motivations, his intentions, sort of what's going on here. And seeing the disagreement between these two is good, because that's kind of pushing him more so towards a sympathetic angle. Could he betray his empire and join us? Maybe.
May Gregor forgive you.
May Gregor forgive you.
What do the astrologers augur?
The stars are in agreement, Your Radiance. The shadow of treachery hangs over Prince Dion.
I just said that.
So Annabella's tales were true. You disappoint me, Dion.
Olivier with his little dragoon toy. That's cool. Yeah, dude. I was like, could he join us? Could he turn against his empire?
What on earth is Uncle Byron doing here? Only one way to find out.
Literally the next line. Yes, the shadow of treachery surrounds him. The stars are in agreement, hey? Okay. God, I'm loving every single cutscene of this game.
One thing after another around here.
Uncle better not have been followed here, let me tell you that much.
Well, fuck me. Never thought I'd see the dear Lord Byron Rotsfield of the Seven High Houses came to tea.
Actually, considering Hugo's attack on Rosaria, he probably doesn't have many eyes on him because they've all evacuated and left. So he's actually probably a little more free to move about than he was before the attack.
Ah, my dear nephew, how I've missed you.
How did you find this place, Uncle?
Through the good offices of young Sir Wade. He really is the most helpful fellow. As are you, I hear. The Guardians and those they freed tell the most outlandish tales of your heroics in Rosalith. Which is why I came, to learn the full truth of the matter. Sort the fact from the fiction, so to speak.
You were working with the Guardians of the Flame to evacuate the people of Rosalith to Port Isolde.
I was, aye.
Then I have questions for you. Please, come inside, Uncle.
Gladly. You there? There are 2,000 gold talents in those chests. See that they're added to my nephew's coffers, would you?
2,000?
Money! Rich uncle hours.
And I'm afraid that is all I know.
A fleet sailing south past Port Isolde. Most intriguing.
Forgive me for not being able to tell you more. I hadn't the faintest idea Kupka withdrew wounded from Rosalith. Still less that my own nephew dealt the decisive blow.
What do you think, Vivian?
I think, with this news of the Dhalmekian fleet and recent reports of the Royalists' movements, that the final piece of the puzzle has fallen into place. Come here and I'll show you. It is known that Kupka's forces entered Rosaria via its unguarded coast. So can the same be said of your visitors from Waloed? Certainly her Royal Navy is famed for the efficiency with which it bears her knights from one battlefield to the next. And in the Heir, or Black Galleon, she boasts a vessel nigh as swift and every bit as feared as the kingdom's legendary cavalry. A fitting flagship for a land apart, her naval presence being crucial to her ambitions beyond Ash. Yes, it seems safe to assume that the Royalists did indeed enter Rosaria from the sea. So then, had you a vested interest in Titan's survival, whither would you take him? Why, home to Drake's Fang, a place rich enough in ether to conjure the magics needed to mend his hurts. But would that not entail an arduous voyage around the southern cape? Let us say that the Royalists did put ashore with a mind to spirit Kupka away from under your very nose. Could that truly have been their plan for him? To load him aboard one of the ships flying Republican colors sighted off the coast near Port Isolde. To spend weeks at sea, being tossed hither and yon by unforgiving waves, his life hanging in the balance. No. The journey would mean Titan's death, and Kupka's faithful creatures would not allow it. So what then was the plan of our Waloed friends? Reports suggest they made not for the coast, but for the desert. And by cutting through the Velcroy, a party traveling light would have Titan back in his bed days before a galley could lurch into port. To wit, it was the Royalists, not the Republicans, who effected Hugo Kupka's safe retreat. I would stake your life on it.
Makes sense.
So it was the Waloeders who spirited the wretch away. Now I think about it, there was something a little strange about the ships I saw. The men seemed almost crestfallen, as if in mourning, as if they believed, or were made to believe, that their master was dead.
You have a keen mind, Lord Rosfield. And you have your answer. To find Kupka, you have merely to follow the Royalist trail across the Velcroy. It may well have gone cold by now, but as they say in the Republic, all roads lead to Drake's Fang.
Allow me to accompany you part of the way. As luck would have it, I had intended to journey Canberward on business after visiting you here. The Fang would be but a short detour.
I'd be glad of the company. Give me a moment to make ready. I need to tell my friends what we've learned, and where we're going.
Very well, but be quick about it, my boy. Time waits for no man.
All right. I was also very delayed. I was going to make this comment during the cutscene between Dion and Sylvester, but I obviously wasn't going to talk during their dialogue. But when they're talking about a rematch or like a match between Bahamut and Titan, I'm like, they're not aware of the fact that he's been, you know, is indisposed right now. So I'm like, that would be a very like, it would be a very hands-off type of fight if Titan was to enter the battlefield in his current state. Yeah, it was terrible. I know.
Mid's finished out.
I sat on that joke for too long that even I can feel it fall flat as soon as I said it.
Of course.
I just had to put it out there. I had to put it out there.
No wheedling than the old one.
Alright, we'll speak with Otto, but we'll speak with Tomes first.
Hurry and make ready, my boy. We must sally forth.
Sally forth. I couldn't make the joke that his hands were currently tied because, you know, lack of hands. So, did my best.
Tome says he's looking for books about Torgal. I know.
My knowledge is yours.
Now we can ask about Mid and Tet and Crow again. Okay. Young Mid has always been too clever by half.
From the moment of her very first steps.
She would roam the Hideaway, tearing apart everything she laid her little hands upon. But it wasn't until she started putting those things back together again that Sid realized his daughter had been blessed with a truly special talent.
And so?
Rather than see it squandered, he swallowed his pride and sent Mid to the university in Canva to study under the Free City's finest mechanists. This was on her 11th name day. We have reaped the benefits of her studies ever since. Her inventions are a part of our daily lives here at the Hideaway, even if she herself is not.
As to why she has stayed away,
I would hazard that a part of her is simply afraid that coming home will remind her too much of what she has lost.
Did you know
that Tet and Crow's parents were both bearers? Having lived so long in a world where much was denied them, it could not have been easy for them to find love.
But once they had.
Oh, how brilliant did it burn. A love that only burned brighter once Tet and Crow were there to bask in it, to share it.
Until it was taken away.
Plunging the twins into a darkness no man or woman, let alone child, should ever have to face. A pall that will ever hang over us, as long as the man who cast it walks free.
I have a few new notes that might interest you. You wish to study the tomes?
Yes, okay. Torgal unleashed. However, it emerges that he is much more than a mere scent hound. He's a rare frost wolf imbued with a sorcerous strength that he is able to call upon to defend his allies in times of crisis. Damn right. Doris, born and branded in Rosaria, Doris now captains the Cursebreakers, directing their bearer-liberating operations in concert with Cole, her second-in-command. While she is fiercely committed to the cause, she abhors violence and will only bloody her blade if circumstances demand it. Bernard is a carpenter. He was born and raised in Cressida, where his parents lie buried, and has recently engaged to be wed. A man in demand. Okay. Ash. Though slightly smaller than her sister to the west, the eastern continent of Alstea is markedly more altitudinous. Fucking hell. I think it's altitude, but altitudin. Oh my god. Just say something else at this point. Like, fantasy terminology. Yay, old English words. Altitudinous. Her lightly wooded shores guarded on all sides by nigh unscalable cliffs. Having been ravaged by the blight still more grievously than storm, the kingdom of Waloed is now her sole remaining nation. Altitudinous. I just have to try and use that in my day-to-day life. Did you see how tall that guy was? He was so altitudinous. A village located deep within the wetlands of central Rosaria. Cressida was once the site of an aqueduct that was hoped would carry water to the capital, Rosalith. But these plans never came to fruition due to both the Holy Empire's annexation of the duchy and a sudden influx of feral beasts displaced by the Blight's march through the Dim. Now it lies abandoned, many of its residents having fled to nearby Martha's Rest. The Free Cities of Canva, a federation of neighboring independent city-states located to the southeast of the Dalmatian Republic. While originally part of Dalmatia, the cities achieved their independence in the year 857, hoping to step away from the Republic's internal struggles and focus instead on the commerce upon which their prosperity had been built. Political power currently resides with a council of guildmasters, prominent Canvarian traders and craftspeople. The lack of a dominant or a mother crystal to covet, along with its considerable financial resources, allows Canva to retain both its independence and neutrality in the face of considerable turmoil elsewhere. As such, it lacks a standing army, the defense of its walls having been relegated to a small, yet well-trained city guard. And Old Canva is the capital of the Free Cities of Canva, located at the tail end of Titan's Wake in southeast Storm. It is a hive of mercantile activity where one can hardly move for the trade transacted on nigh every cobbled corner. Brand removal is the painstaking process of slicing away the bearer brand so that no mark remains. Taya, the Hideaway's Physica, has mastered the procedure, though it still entails a good deal of pain and of risk. Indeed, the brand is written in poison ink, and any attempt to remove it should result in death. Given this, many choose to forego the process, even though their brand precludes them from ever leaving the Hideaway. Wow. A frost wolf is a rare breed of wolf from the frozen northern territories that is said to be able to conjure magics. An ancient fable from the region prominently features a frost wolf by the name of Fenrir, who was companion to the Queen of the Snows, most likely an allusion to the dominant of Shiva, and defended her not with tooth and claw, but with bolts of ice. The Einherjar is the flagship of the Waluda Navy, also known as the Black Galleon. Alongside the Royal Cavalry, it is the pride of Walud and is capable of swiftly delivering elite troops onto enemy soil to make war in the name of the mighty Odin. Astrologer, members of the Gregorian clergy who divine the future from the movements of the heavens. It has long been custom for the astrologers of the imperial court to share their auguries only with the emperor, granting them significant political influence, provided that is that the emperor of the day shares Sylvester's inclination to heed their advice. Nice.
You're always welcome, Clive.
There's some good stuff in there. Alright, let us speak with Otto once again, shall we? And we will be on our way. I'm assuming Jill is going to continue to rest up. So it'll just be me and Torgal. Maybe Gav might come along. He's just looking in awe at the 2,000 gold.
Otto, Klupka's at Drake's Fang. I'll be leaving before sunset.
You're not going in there alone, are you?
Don't worry. I'm not going there to destroy the Mother Crystal. All I'm after is Klupka's head. I won't risk any more than I have to. I promise.
The Lanza and the Fang are all Kupka's personal fiefdom. You have any trouble on the way, you ask for Rosina Dalamil. Some call her the Desert Heir.
Who is she?
An old associate of Sid's, and only Sid's. All I know is the name, and that they used to meet at the Dalamil Inn. We've heard nothing from her since he died. But I'm thinking maybe the new Sid might be able to bring her back into the fold.
Thanks. I'll keep that in mind.
So, what about your uncle? I mean, he's welcome to stay, but...
Don't look so worried. He'll be coming with me.
Thank fuck for that.
Gav, Otto, I'm leaving you two in charge.
You can count on us. I heard they call Rosina the Desert Heir on account of how little escapes her ears. That and her habit of bolting at the first sign of danger. But if she knew Sid was looking for her, she might just be tempted back out of her burrow.
Okay.
What's wrong, Gav?
It's this gold your uncle gave us. Are you sure it's all right for us to take it?
My uncle isn't easily refused, especially where dispersing his wealth is concerned.
But 2,000 talents. I don't even know how much that is in Gil.
It's the price of a quayside mansion in the Crystalline Dominion. He sold one to fund our endeavor. He was hoping to part with it anyway, what with war brewing in the region. And, luckily for him, a Sambraquois noble was willing to pay over the odds for a foothold in the Holy Emperor's neighborhood.
But still, 2,000 talents? I mean, is it normal for nobles to give away that kind of money?
It's normal for my uncle.
Fuck me. Oh, the other half live here?
Well, now that we've got a few gills to rub together, do you think it'd be all right if I splashed out on a few bottles of Lost Wing's finest?
Here, leave some for the rest of us, Otto. If he's filling his cellar, I'm filling our larder, starting with a barrel of the best salt-cured northern salmon.
I'll leave you to decide how best to use it. Just don't spend it all at once, all right?
All right, rich boy.
May the winds of fortune be forever at your back, Sid.
Don't say that. The last thing you need when you're crossing the desert is for the wind to pick up.
He just fucking death stares him.
All right, Uncle. I'm ready to depart. Shall we?
We shall. Come, let us away to adventure.
We shall come. That's our first obelisk on the south side. Finally, look. Amazing. Okay. The Velcroy Desert, a vast arid sea of sand and stone that has been slowly consuming western Dalmatia since time immemorial. So I guess this is Canva right here. I thought that this was Kupka's castle, and then this was like Dalmatia, like the main sort of place, and then this was Castle Nincompoop, whatever its name is. But I think with the chains separating the territory, that must be Canva right there. To the Velcroy Desert. The Dalmatian Republic. Classic desert soundtrack.
I was a young man when last I walked this path. There's an old trading post not far from here. The road to Drake's Fang leads through it.
The trading post it is.
Riddle of the Sands. It's always kind of funny how tropey certain environments are for music. Like, you'll hear music and you go, oh yeah, this is for a water level. Oh yeah, we're in the desert. You know, there's always like those types of musical themes that are like, yep, this is definitely for this type of spot. And that is like kind of a funny, humorous thing, and you know, it's so you can attach identity to locations and stuff like that, but you know, they shouldn't be limited to that. Give us a different theme. It's always the same type of music, and it becomes very interchangeable with like so many different games or movies and stuff at that point. Like, I could take a goddamn Nintendo soundtrack of, you know, a Nintendo character being in a desert. I don't have any examples because I don't play Nintendo games much at all. But let's say you're in the desert in a Nintendo game, and you put this soundtrack over the top of this, and you'll go, "Yep, it fits."
Over that dune, beyond the ruins. Mark 'em well, Clive. It's all too easy to lose one's bearings in the sands.
And that's not to dunk on Soken at all for like the soundtrack, because this game's soundtrack is immaculate, but it is the tropes that do tend to come with location themes and stuff. Is Ambrosia here? Ambrosia, you are available in the desert.
Fly, Ambrosia.
Actually, I'm probably thinking we may as well just stay on track and then explore these regions later, because there's bound to be... Oh. Because there's bound to be some hunts and stuff. Seratino? Wild Knack! Bloodfang! Damn. Byron actually fighting as well. Well, I mean, he kind of stood there with his axe, but he's still getting involved. He wishes to be involved. I think Upheaval is the one that I have equipped at the moment. Or is it Wind Up? I think it's Upheaval. Upgrade it. Yeah. Ah, we are now finding desert roses. See, we bought them off a merchant because I'm like, I haven't seen them before, so I guess I'll pick them up. And guess what? They haven't come up since as a crafting item. We overly prepared ourselves, it seems.
Many years ago, when you were just a boy, you and I rode this way together, accompanying your father on a scouting expedition to Drake's Fang.
He let me come with you.
I'm not surprised you don't remember. It was just before Joshua was born. You were so eager to be there when your brother arrived that you whipped your chocobo too hard on the journey home and fell from the saddle. I shall never forget how Elwyn fussed over you as you sat in the sand, bawling like a babe.
That's hilarious.
You deserve a rest.
Wanted to see Joshua so bad. Tried to jump my way to that enemy, but alas, I got stuck. Helldivers. These like desert variants of chocobos, like a crimson red about them almost. Alright, where's the entrance to these fallen ruins? Okay, don't want anything to do with me then? Be that way.
Who do you think those soldiers were in the inn?
Friends of friends, I'd wager. Not that they looked very friendly.
Friends of friends at the inn, eh?
So, Lord Cook has finally made his move?
Yes. I expect that's why there's so many soldiers in town, to deal with any Imperial reprisals.
Oh, this isn't even where we're stopping. The Watcher. Okay. Riddle of the Sands. Alright. This is just a spot in the shade. The music faded like it was gonna go to a cutscene, but we've just lost the music for no reason.
Ah, there she is. The good old Dalamil Inn. Do you know, this heat has given me quite a thirst. Quick drink before we press on?
Ooh, a little oasis. We've got some water and some trees. Ooh.
Look, there. Those are ashen steeds. No doubt about it.
And such a long ride from Stone here. Our Luda friends must be soothing their saddle sores in the inn. Shall we join them?
Ashen steeds.
Not play now, Torgal. Dogs aren't allowed inside.
I want a dog that can understand everything I say. The Dalamil Inn, a literal oasis in Novelcroy, a desert in the western part of Dalmatia. Dalamil offers goods, food, and respite to those travelers who endure the long march through sweltering sands. In particular, the hot spring baths fed from nearby waters will not only ease the pains of the road, but are also rumored to cure all manner of ills, from boils and bubbos to the various afflictions to the groin, many of which are like to be contracted at one of Dalamil's many brothels. Ayo, you're getting crabs in the desert. Desert crabs.
Good day to you. Eating?
Sorry about my pal. He only talks when his mouth's full. What do you recommend?
Well, if you're after something light, we do a fine chocobo soup with lentils and honey.
2 bowls of that, then. And ale.
Right you are.
Hey, go!
Coming!
Your pal?
Would you rather be my squire?
I'm assuming we're following these people to Waloed. No? I thought we were going to be following them to the Walooders. Joshua's here.
Your Grace, it is plain you are not yet well enough to travel. If you would only let me take you to someone who can better attend to your ills.
No, we must press on. Prince Dion has returned to his camp and will soon depart for the front. I must speak with him at all costs. Miss this chance and I may never get another. You do understand that?
Yes, Your Grace. But you must at least agree to take your medicine. I'll fetch you some water.
This gives me the same energy of in Kingdom Hearts 1, where Squall and Yuffie are talking to Sora in one room about the Heartless and everything, and then in literally the next room over, Aerith is talking to Donald and Goofy about the same thing, and they're like so close to like meeting each other. It gives me that same sort of like, oh my god, just like they're in the same place. Like just meet each other. And then they just miss each other due to like something happening. I wonder if the attendant will recognize us. Yote.
Keep watch, they tell us. But all I see is sand.
I hear they got our guest back to the Fang without any trouble. We'll be leaving soon enough.
Why the Lord Commander dragged us all this way just to save that blockhead skin, we'll never know. Dominant or not, he's a bloody idiot.
That'll be Cooker, then.
Yeah, why'd you... Come on,
Let's
man.
get this down us. We've a long way to go.
Hey, you!
You and your big mouth, Byron. So these were the Walooders. I didn't know.
Uncle?
Sorry.
Only sees them, not us.
Can you walk, Your Grace?
What's wrong?
I fear trouble may be brewing downstairs.
You two are travelers, are you not? Me and my companions are strangers here. Perhaps you'd be good enough to accompany us a while. Help us find our way.
Sorry, lads, but we've got business in camera that can't wait.
Ah, I'm sure you could spare us an hour or two.
Come on.
Friend.
But that whispering is really annoying.
I'm afraid we don't have a moment to lose. Friend. Stay back, Uncle.
Gladly.
That's so silly, dude. That whispering was like weirdly loud, like all of the patrons like whispering to leave. I'm like,
stay down.
Bravo, my boy! Just like that!
come on, attack me, you fool. Attack me so I can get a precision block. Whenever you want to do cool moves, you have to like, you have to stop wailing on them and you just have to wait. There you go. Like, whenever you want to do something specific, you just have to sit and wait.
For your trouble. Word of advice, miss. That soup could do with a touch more salt.
Well, she's watching, so she knows who we are. Can we have a reunion, please, Margrace? Margrace's attendant. Like, hey, brother's here.
Now's our chance. Your Grace?
I'm fine.
So close.
Clive? What is it now?
It's nothing. Let's go.
Okay. It'll be a lot to learn with Byron being like, oh, Joshua lives as well? God damn it.
Well, we didn't know where to find Kupka before. We do now.
The Royalists said it themselves. Their guest is in the Fang. We should press on before any more of their friends turn up.
Make for Drake's Fang.
Softness, like eating a cloud with a crust.
Once you go flat. Let's take a look around before we press on though.
Herbs and spices from the breadth of the Twins and beyond.
My carpets have pride of place in Castle Dasbog. You too can live like a lord.
That's the name. Castle Dasbog.
Another fight, is it? Some people can't handle their drink.
Sorry, but the master's not here at the moment. All orders have to go through him.
The master, eh?
You could melt butter in that furnace. Get it stoked.
Right away.
In exchange for one greatsword forged to the specifications here under, Red Rooster Trading will pay the sum of 1,000 gil, no less than 8 hands in length, weighted pommel, briar clam inlay, and serrated edge suited for cutting bone. Okay, that's probably going to come up at some point, I suppose. Look at all these swords. Swords and axes and the like.
Why is the tavern shut?
The inn's a mess of blood-soaked splinters, thanks to you. The least you can do is let us clean up in peace. I told the guard those soldiers started it. Don't need any more trouble.
Oh, I thought she was like frozen in place. I was like, is she even moving?
Let me treat.
The lock of leisure, the briar's kiss, the lock of toil, the baths. Okay.
You. I'm pretty flush these days.
Are you now?
I need a drink.
Genuine cactuar needles. Cactuars are in this game. Yes, imported from across the sea. Oh no, hang on. They're imported from across the sea. Just one prick and your little sparrow will sing. What? Cactuar needles are good for erections. Amazing. We got Final Fantasy Viagra. It's finally happened. Okay, imported from across the sea. Does that mean cactuars are located on Ash? They exist in this game. I'm excited. I need a giant cactuar hunt.
Anytime they pull their snouts out of Cook's trough is when they want to lord it over us.
$1,000 gil for a measly bunch of Gazal greens.
I named my price. If you can't pay it, that's your problem.
Gazal greens.
It's all the fault of this blasted war. The moment they find out you're from the Empire, they flat out refuse to do business with you.
Won't you come and play, handsome?
Your arms are like iron. Are all your muscles so hard?
Well, I'd be happy to show you, provided I can afford it.
Are all your muscles so hard?
Made from the stoutest stoneware. Won't chip, won't crack, no matter how rocky the road.
How about a hot bath to soothe the aches and pains of the road?
Crystals being used as like water, like to drink straight out of is such a weird thing. Like it makes sense. You see it used to like fill up like buckets and used in wells, but like actually using it to like drink, it just feels so weird.
This town is truly blessed. The bustling markets, the healing waters, and all under the watchful eye of Lord Kupka, who stands ready to crush any threat that might face us.
It wasn't heated by magic. It comes out of the ground like this.
Ooh. Selling candles. Well, that's going to be an issue.
They've closed the road, and it's the only way from here to the Fang. It would seem Lord Kupka is not accepting visitors at present.
We have to get through that gate.
Not by force, I trust. We've attracted quite enough unwanted attention already.
By guile, then. Perhaps the Desert Hare can offer us her aid.
Rosina Dalamil, woman of mystery. But how will we find her? We know naught of her but her name.
And that she was working with Sid. Sid's other collaborators have all been people of means, the wealthiest and most successful members of their communities. I'll wager this Rosina Dalamil is the same.
That would certainly help to narrow the search. We need only inquire as to who is in charge of the town.
And that's exactly what I mean to do.
Speak with the townspeople. Well, here's the thing, right? The Dalamil Inn. Seems like that would be where you would find the person with the last name of Dalamil. But, what do I know? What I do know is this is such a gorgeous place. Like, living in the desert wouldn't be so bad if this was your water. Like, look at this. I want to take a swim in this so badly. Looks like we got, like, salt. I would assume that's salt. Or whatever Final Fantasy's equivalent is. Looks like I can go over there. There's an item. Yes, I can go over there. The Southern Velcroid Desert. Okay. Oh, and this is the Doznov Terraces is over there. Okay, that's the Doznov Terraces.
Mummy, I want to play with the crystal.
How many times do I have to tell you? It's not a toy.
All I want to say that is very unfortunate about the layout of this location is, oh no, the gate's closed. If only my character was like literally able to climb up this and just walk over the top of it. Like, that's the gate right there. Just, no one's watching. Just climb over here. It's not tall. It's a little bit silly. They should make this not so easy to access with its silly invisible walls. Which kind of takes me out of the realism of, oh no, we can't get around this gate. If only we could just walk around it.
Are you looking for something in particular?
The breath of lightning for the lightning rod. The 1,000 tables orchestran roll. We're good.
Fare you well.
We're good, ma'am.
Crystal delivery's over. Get back to your homes.
But I didn't get one.
Light it, for Gilbert's sake. You're a bearer, aren't you? I was a fool to waste good coin on you.
This river runs all the way to the southern seas. They used to load the crystal onto barges and sail it to the villages downstream. Before the canyons were lost to beasts and bandits, when I was a girl, I would wave to the boatmen as they set off on their long journey, and they would throw me sweetmeats in return. Such happy times.
What do you want? Can't you see I'm busy?
I won't keep you long. I'm looking for someone. A woman by the name of Rosina Dalamil. Do you know her?
Never heard of her. Is that all?
One more question. If I wanted to find the richest trader in town, where would you recommend that I look?
Oh, that's easy. The Briar's Kiss. Won't find a finer smithy this side of the strait. The owner's only a young sprig, but he's got all the right ideas.
The Briar's Kiss, you say? Thank you.
I doubt this young sprig is the person we're looking for. You said Sid's contact was likely to be an influential sort. Influence comes with age and experience. Believe you me.
Anything I can help you with, travelers?
Allow me. My good man, we represent one of the oldest and greatest trading houses of Port Isolde. We're seeking to expand our business in the region and would very much like to make the acquaintance of Dalamil's leading entrepreneurs. If only we knew where to find them.
Well, we're best known for our baths, our markets, and our smithies. I suppose you could do worse than start your search at one of those.
Thank you. You've been most helpful. Oh, you wouldn't happen to know a lady by the name of Rosina Dalamil, would you?
No. I can't say I do.
Well, thank you all the same.
Okay.
Light it for Gilbert's sake.
Looks like we won't be getting back to Drake's Fang anytime soon.
Mummy, I want to play with the crystal.
Can I help you? Yes, I'm looking for a woman by the name of Rosina Dalamil. A long-standing pillar of your community, I believe, from old trading stock.
Then you should ask further. He's been here for years. Knows the place and its people like the back of his hand. And he's in with all the old merchant families. Try the baths. That's where you'll usually find him.
Thank you kindly.
Thank you kindly.
Well, it sounds like we have our man.
Perhaps. Let's go and find out exactly what this Furder knows.
Hanging lanterns, keep the darkness from your door.
Excuse me. Are you Furder?
I am. Can I help you, travelers?
I hope so. You've lived here for some time, is that correct? Do you know Rosina Dalamil? We believe she may be a trader of some renown.
And what business do you have with the desert heir?
She was a close friend of mine. I was hoping she might be able to help me.
Very well. Go to the bordello. I'll arrange an introduction.
To the bordello, eh?
Do you think we can trust him?
Only as far as I think he trusts us.
So you're the ones who've been sniffing around?
I beg your pardon?
Don't play the fool. Stick your nose in our business and you're likely to lose it.
Okay then. Back alley bruiser. Have some of Hugo Kupka's strength.
It's over.
Well, that was quick. Like, kill this guy. He's on to us. Just a flesh wound, everybody.
Who are you working for? Him or her?
Him. The boss. He wanted us to test you.
Though one could hardly call that a test.
Lord Ferda?
Look what the cat dragged in.
Your skill with a blade is rare indeed, my lord. A fitting talent for an outlaw.
You know who I am. So what now? Call in the men of the Rock and collect the bounty?
That isn't my decision to make. Our work is done. Take him to meet his precious Rosina. She will be interested to make his acquaintance.
Yes, my lord. To the Lock of Leisure, then.
To the Lock of Leisure.
Alrighty. I love the colors of this place. So gorgeous.
Fresh bread, warm from the oven.
Fresh from the grill. Get it while it's
Yes, they're quite sought
the
after.
finest fabrics.
Is this the place?
Lubor's Forge. The Briar's Kiss.
Ah, so it was the young sprig after all. So much for Rosina Dalamil being a woman of experience. How wrong I was.
It was an easy mistake to make, Uncle. After all, it must have been years since Sid last saw her. Sorry, him. Whoever this Lubor truly is, he's clearly a man of means. I'd say he deserves our respect.
See that he gets it.
Okay.
Lubor, Lord Ferda told me to bring them to you.
My boys tell me you're in need of assistance. Sid the Second.
I won't waste your time. I need passage through the south gate.
Tell me, what do you think is a merchant's most important commodity? Why, trust. Everyone knows that. Without it, you have nothing. And nothing is exactly what you have. And so, for you, I, too, have nothing. I'm not in the business of helping every lost puppy that wanders in off the street. I'm a busy man, as you can see.
Let's leave this mummer to his farce.
By all means. Find someone else to help you on your way. Just be sure to tell them you're not the two travelers from the inn the guards are looking for. Don't want them jumping to conclusions, do we?
Why, you...
So, what do we need to do to earn your trust?
I like this one. Willing to do whatever it takes to get what he wants. Ha! Men like you. have a special place in my heart. Why, you ask? Because they get me what I want. Always.
Fine. So what do you want?
Don't tell me you're going to listen to this swaggering scruff.
We might as well hear him out. It's only natural that an ally of Sid's would seek assurances of strangers. Assuming he is an ally, of course. 5 years ago, he would have still been a boy.
And yet even then I had more good sense than a man, 5 times my age? But enough of the pleasantries. We were speaking of what I want. I want you to put an end to the trouble in Dalamil. Return to me when you have done so, and you shall have my aid. Until then, I bid you good day.
What trouble? If you're going to give us orders, be clear about them, damn you!
Manners, Greybeard. One catches more damselflies with honey than with vinegar.
What did you call me?
My apologies. A word of advice in recompense. Follow the crystals. Oh, but that was 3. Oh, I'm making this too easy for you.
Ha! It will be easy. Solving his little riddle should be like dealing with him. Child's play. Let us divide our forces, Clive. I'd rather not drag this parlor game on any longer than we need to.
All right. Good luck, Uncle.
I like that they just assume. That all of Sid's contacts are ones of high influence and stuff like that, and being like they must be this important person or this person, not realizing that also Sid also enjoys a little bit of pleasure from time to time, as we can see, where he chooses to do negotiations in pleasure houses or around those locations, and it's pretty clear that he is a bit more of the playful type with, not just one gender. And Gav gives off that same sort of energy. The only concern I have is Clive mentioning, yes, 5 years ago, he would have been a boy, probably, so I hope that Sid wasn't getting up to anything that he shouldn't have been.
We were the only ones causing trouble in Dalamil.
Otherwise, that would be very concerning.
He can't be. What? Are you calling Master Lubor a liar?
The misfortune Dalamil finds herself in is of a crystalline nature. So do be discreet in your inquiries,
Master Lubor has high expectations of you. Don't disappoint him.
And the way that Lubor talks as well fits in with that bill of just people willing to do whatever it takes to get whatever they want. Okay.
A deposit? For what?
Information, my good man.
Now, listen carefully.
This man's just gonna pay his way to try and get his information, because that's what he's very much used to doing. For the best drop in Dalamil, visit the final sting. So the Dalamil name was just an alias, a cover, a guise.
Excuse me. Is it true there's been trouble with crystals of late?
You've heard, then?
I've heard rumors.
Damn thieves. Pilfering the crystals that were meant to fill our cups and light our stoves. Us common folk have hardly had a shard to share between us these last few moons. And it isn't as if we can buy them on the black market either. Whoever's taking them, they aren't sharing.
Do you have a moment?
Depends what for.
Just a question. Dalamil seems to be thriving compared to the other villages I came through on the way. Is there a reason for that?
Well, we're a stone's throw from Drake's Fang for one. The soldiers guarding the Mother Crystal and the shipments need a place to spend their hard-earned gil. The men of the Rock throw their money about like there's no tomorrow.
Is that so? Well, thank you. Don't let me keep you from your work any longer.
Okay. One more.
Take a sniff, good sir.
Needed to a silken soft.
You wouldn't believe how much he gave me. What can I do for you, soldier? Need that sword polishing?
I'm not a soldier.
Ugh, then be off with you. I serve the men of the Rock and the men of the Rock only.
You have an agreement with them?
Don't be stupid. I just know which side my bread is buttered. Don't want to be stuck under some pauper when they come knocking, with pockets deeper than Zemeckis and an urge to empty them. No, just leave, will you? Before you scare them off.
Okay, so
I think I'm starting to get an idea of what's been going on.
That's the...
Anything of use. They'll probably be back at the inn by now.
That's the first time we've had Zemeckis said out loud, so we finally get the actual pronunciation of that, which is what we could kind of assume, the silent D.
Have pride of place.
Zemeckis.
What was all that crashing and banging about before?
It's you, the one who broke all our furniture. What do you want? Haven't you caused enough trouble already?
I'm looking for my pal. Have you seen him?
The gentleman who was with you? Yes, he's upstairs, but...
Thank you. I'll go and fetch him.
The inn's a mess of blood-soaked splinters, thanks to you.
Okay.
Let me greet you.
Huh?
Will this suffice as a deposit?
By the sands. That's a black pearl.
One of the many treasures in my collection that I would be only too happy to part with, should you give me reason to do so.
All right. I'm sure that we can come to an agreement, but not here.
What are you doing, Uncle?
Paying his way. Byron's a pay-to-win player.
Care to explain why you're giving gifts to Kupka's men?
Bait, my boy. One cannot catch one's prey without it. And I do believe I've snagged us quite the quarry. I started by asking around the markets as to where I might purchase crystals. I had no luck, of course. It's forbidden to trade in such things. But my uncharacteristic indiscretion just happened to attract the attention of those uniformed ruffians. They took me aside and said they could procure the crystal I sought if I proved I could pay for it.
So the pearl was your proof?
I thought they'd ask for more. A second-rate specimen like that would only fetch 500,000 or so. A small price to pay for admittance to the underworld. But enough about my little act of subterfuge. What did you discover?
That the supply of crystals has dried up of late. And some people seem to think they're being stolen. Meanwhile, members of Kupka's private guard have been spending money all over town. I'll wager those soldiers you've been talking to have been siphoning off crystals meant for elsewhere, and pocketing the profits.
I'll wager you're right.
We'll meet with them then, just as you arranged, and put an end to the trouble Lubor spoke of.
Ha! That preening popinjay thought this would be difficult. It just goes to show one should never underestimate a Rosfield. We'll soon wipe that smirk off his face. I arranged to meet with the soldiers in a secluded corner of the Velcroy, far from prying eyes.
The perfect place for a spot of double dealing.
I trust I can count on your support if things turn sour.
Of course.
We're getting so much more of Byron than I thought we ever would. I thought he would be like that sort of one scene in Port Isolde. But he's been so much more. Lord Byron has been a gift. Alright, let's check out this location, because this is a new portion of the desert, the southern Velcroy Desert. So we're heading through there. Okay. We're going so much further out. So if we look here, this gate... Yeah, it's so funny how we're making such a big deal out of, like, needing to get through this gate when we can just go around it, really. If only we had the power to just jump over small rocks. Oh, look at that airtime, baby.
I'll take it from here.
Damn. Okay.
I was beginning to think you weren't coming, my lord. You've brought your contribution?
All the silver and stones I could scrape together at such short notice?
You brought the whole 500 talents.
That was the price we agreed upon, yes? If you've no objections, I'd like to see the crystal.
Of course. Right this way, my lord.
Not bad at all. You weren't lying about the clarity. But what of security? If I were to be stopped on the road, what guarantee have I that it wouldn't be seized as property of the Republic?
Because these crystals are no longer the property of the Republic. You're not buying from us. You're buying from them.
And we have no more jurisdiction here than you, my lord. But we have ships, and will gladly deliver to a port of your choosing, now that our price has been met.
Royalists, eh? What brings you here?
Why, to collect their share of Drake's Fang's blessing, of course. Our nations are allies, and so they are entitled to a portion of the Mother Crystal's bounty. And, being such good friends, we elected to increase that portion and share the benefits. And now that these crystals are officially property of the Kingdom of Waloed, we are duty-bound not to interfere, no matter where they might happen to end up next.
Did you get all that? They're in cahoots!
So it would seem. My lord! What is the meaning of this?
Double-crossing dogs. They're not here to do business. Kill them. Kill them both.
All right, Royal Knight time. How's that for a guard break? Well, it would make sense they're in cahoots, considering Kupka's life was saved.
It's not over yet, Uncle. Good. I'm just getting warmed up.
Stay down!
Go, Toggle, go! Fuck him up. Do the work for me.
Attack!
Of course. Oh god, we got ashen steeds. Nice. I'm gonna upgrade some abilities now. I've got 1,000.
Well, that wasn't too bad. How'd you like my performance, huh? I've often played the villain on the stage. I think I did the role justice. Don't you?
Greybeard, you were magnificent. The battle scene was particularly thrilling. Such a shame you didn't have more of an audience, but perhaps that's for the best.
How long have you been watching?
Long enough to witness your uncle's sordid transaction. I hardly expected one so venerable to degrade himself so thoroughly, buying one's way into the confidence of degenerates. Ingenious.
This was the trouble you spoke of. The men of the Rock taking crystals meant for the common folk and conspiring with the royalists. Well, now it's over.
Indeed it is. The people of Dalamil had scarcely any means of redress against Kupka's men, let alone a foreign army. Until you two came along, that is. Well, we'd better get these crystals back to town. You won't mind waiting with them while I fetch a wagon.
Five years later.
It occurs to me that I still don't know your name.
Clive.
So, Sid the Second is a Clive. I suppose it could have been worse. Well, Clive, you held up your end of the bargain, so I must do the same. Passage through the South Gate, was it not? To tell the truth, you've helped a little there too. Many of the guards have already been redeployed to deal with the issue of their missing comrades. And those left behind have been encouraged to look the other way should you attempt to pass through.
Thank you. And please allow me to cover your costs. You still have the purse I gave to the soldiers, I trust? I saw you pluck it from one of the bodies.
Oh, dear. Was I really so obvious?
And my name is not Greybeard. It is Lord Byron Rosfield, thank you very much.
No, thank you very much, Greybeard.
Of all the... Ugh!
Here, wear this.
Oh, guys, look, a seal. We got another one. We got another one.
Any friend of mine who sees you with it shall be a friend of yours.
Thank you, Lubor.
And please, feel free to send one of my Stoluses back to your people. Tell them that Rosina Dalamil is back in bed with Sid.
Yeah, it's all very playful and flirty, isn't it? How old is this guy? Do we need to retroactively cancel Sid? Hell yeah, it's so cool to actually see that in action. That was cool. It's been a while.
I'm trusting you, Sid. Or should I say, Clive. So be sure not to let me down. I have a reputation to uphold.
Alright, we're gonna retroactively cancel Sid from the grave.
Well then, I wish you a safe journey south.
Thank you.
Not at all. It was my pleasure.
Come on, Uncle. Let's go.
Nice. Time to go through that south gate that was really hard for us to not walk around. Ooh, we do have some side quests though. Carving out a niche and hot water. Nice. Well, we'll do some side quests before we move on in that case. I'll take a quick break and then we'll continue. Let's begin.
I've never even forged a butter knife. Perhaps Forge Master Lubor's having fun at my expense.
I wouldn't put it past him.
Neither would I.
Oh, wait. Are you Clive?
Sorry, my mind was elsewhere. I'm Saver, Master Lubor's least accomplished apprentice. Soon to be former apprentice if I don't pass this test. Maybe I'm just not the resourceful type. People are buying up weapons faster than the Briar's Kiss can forge them, and here I am, unable to make a decent bit of kitchenware. He wants me to make a carving knife, one that embodies the spirit of Dalamil. Whatever that's supposed to mean. I don't suppose you have any idea what he's on about, do you?
I'm afraid not.
Never mind. Thought I'd ask. It was that or pack my bags.
I could give you a hand.
I could give you a hand if you like. I know how busy the Briar's Kiss has been, and that Lubor needs all the capable hands he can find.
I'd be a fool to refuse.
So, where do we start?
Good question. If I'm honest, I've never made any kind of knife before. And then there's this little riddle to keep in mind. The spirit of Dalamil. Nothing is ever simple with that man.
The way I see it, there's only one way we'll be solving Lubor's puzzle. We need information. The more the better.
You're right. There's no point fumbling in the dark, I suppose. Now, who to speak to first? Well, there's plenty of folk in Dalamil who use knives for a living. There's the butcher, of course, and any number of cooks. They're bound to have an opinion or two about the tools of their trade. All right. I think we have a plan. Let's get to it, shall we? I'll talk to every cook I can find. You speak to the butcher, and anyone else you can think of.
All right. Good luck.
Let's hope that someone says something useful.
Trust Lubor to take a simple test and turn it into a riddle. I better get to it.
Clive. You and I
have more in common than you might think. Not only are we both masters of the blade and devilishly handsome to boot, but we are both second people to bear our respective names. Oh, hang on.
What?
Oh, you didn't think Rosanna Dalamil was my own invention, did you? It was the name of my master. I inherited it from her along with her title and her smithy. So Rosanna Dalamil is an actual person, and then assumedly the actual person that the original Sid would have had interactions with. Okay, guys, Sid is no longer cancelled. He's not getting into bed with young boys. Woo! He's still a good guy. Why is this information in like a completely missable bit of context here when you have to ask him about it? He should have just said this stuff in that cutscene after we like helped him out. Ensuring that her name lived on was the least I could do after all she did for me. She plucked me from the streets and put my less than nimble fingers to work making blades instead of trouble.
Alas.
She was to leave my life as suddenly and unexpectedly as she had entered it. I swore to follow in her footsteps, that I might change others' lives as she had mine. That is why I keep her forge alive, why I play the desert hare, why I care for the orphans of Dalamil. Indeed, I had thought my obligations to Renz and Drika to be my most pressing concern, that is, until the infamous Sid made a surprise reappearance, rather muddied the waters.
Still?
I suppose there's enough of me to go around, but do forgive me if the desert hare isn't always at your beck and call, won't you? A lot of that information needed to be, like, mandatory listening. Like, that needed to be cleared up immediately. I do like how there's a similarity in, like, us taking on Sid's name and Lubor taking on, the Desert Hare's moniker. I thought it was a crafty sort of disguise because it's like operating under an alias with a nickname with a different gender, and then like it's easy to not be like identified by enemies. But no, Sid actually used to have a proper accomplice by the name of the Desert Hare. So there you go. Everything gets thrown up in the air because you know that like it seems plausible, and then you're scratching your head and you're like, oh God, Sid, really? And then you get confirmation.
Ours is a blessed corner of the Velcroy.
A veritable oasis with clear running water and natural hot springs. I don't doubt that people have been gathering here since long before the founding of the Republic. Since it was founded, they've been gathering in even greater numbers to serve the needs of the miners who work Drake's Fang and the soldiers who guard it. And serve them they did, lining their coffers far from the prying eyes and grasping fingers of the Republican excisemen. Not that edicts from Randella carry much weight in these parts. Dalamil has long been something of a law unto itself. Here, those with the most money or the most friends make the rules.
At least they did.
Until Kupka built that castle of his at the heart of the Mother Crystal. Dalamil has been Titan's fiefdom since then. Okay, so Dazbog is at the heart of the Mother Crystal. That's where the castle is. Gotcha. And while his men may be liberal with their coin, they are anything but in the excising of their authority, which, as I'm sure I don't need to tell you, is absolute.
So,
you see why those with the people's best interests at heart took it upon themselves to organize their own protection, my predecessor chief among them.
How very fitting.
That the noble soldiers of Dalmekia and Walud, partners in arms on so many battlefields, should also become partners in crime. Still, the merchants of Dalamil will be relieved to see them brought to justice. Many have been driven almost to ruin for want of crystal. I'm sure they would have all be rushing to thank you for the service you have done them, if, of course, they had any idea what you have done.
Of course.
As long as we remain reliant on the power of the crystals, we leave ourselves open to such exploitation. But people are such greedy, needy creatures.
There's simply no other way.
Clive, you must bring down each and every Mother Crystal in the Twins and put an end to the people's thoughtless dependence upon them. Do you try not to disappoint me? Okay.
Best of luck.
Alright, Sid is no longer cancelled, guys.
Yes, they're quite sought after.
Welcome, sir. What can I do you for?
A question, if you don't mind. I need to know what makes a good carving knife.
You a blacksmith or something?
Something, I suppose.
Fair enough. Knives, is it? First and foremost, it's got to hold an edge. Most knives will make it through fat no problem, but sinew dulls cheap steel in no time. Give me a blade which can slice through anything that crosses my chopping block, and I'm a happy woman.
So a knife that stays sharp. Makes sense.
Imagine your job title being flesher. Yeah, I'm just the local flesher. What does that mean? Probably best to keep it a mystery.
Plates and pots! Bowls and basins!
The baths are, closed for scrubbing. Please bear with us a little longer.
Okay. Interesting. Who am I speaking with?
Just look at the detail. Ha! They've opened the gate.
Lubor was true to his word.
Well, we can make our way back to the Fang.
What is it? I'm in no mood for chatter.
Sorry. Do you mind if I ask your trade?
Hunter, why?
I have a question. Can you tell me what makes a good carving knife? I assume you use one out in the field.
Has to be able to put up with some punishment. Can't be dealing with a brittle blade, not while I'm on the hunt. If your knife snaps every time you use it, you'll be spending coin as fast as you make it. Times are hard enough as it is.
Thank you. I won't keep you any longer.
All business, eh? Man after my own heart.
So, a carving knife should be hard-wearing and hold an edge. Hardly a revelation.
Yeah.
Sava had better luck than I did.
That's great. I love that he's like, yes. Not the most informative of things. You're like, yes. You want a knife to be strong.
Is it true what I'm hearing?
So, how'd it go? You learn anything useful, or should I be looking for a new trade?
Only that a blade should be durable and stay sharp. But I don't see how that relates to the spirit of Dalamil.
I didn't have much luck either. All the cook said was that he needs his knives to be light. Too heavy and they do his shoulder in.
So we're no better off than when we started. Perhaps Lubor didn't mean anything with his Dalamil remark. But that can't be right. I've bandied enough words with the man to know that he chooses them carefully. No. We must be missing something. Something right in front of our noses, most likely.
No doubt you're right, but I have to make a start soon. I can't put off making this knife forever.
Agreed. Lubor wouldn't like that much.
Right. I've been trained to work iron. The cheap stuff, mind. But it's hardy enough if you don't hammer it too thin, and it sharpens up nicely with a bit of effort. Trouble is, it's either durable or it's light, meaning someone is going to be disappointed. Forge Master Lubor, probably.
Is there no one else you can turn to? Someone who knows their metals, perhaps?
The other apprentices know better than to help me with my test. But maybe there is someone I could turn to. A merchant, a favourite of Forge Master Lubor's, who sells metals to tradesmen passing through the Valcroy. I bet she'd know a thing or two.
Search the Valkyrie Desert for the metal trader. Okay. Let's head back to that big fallen ruin then.
Thanks, Gal. Any luck? Or will you be needing help with your bags?
Well, I asked her, but... you tell him.
If you're looking to make a knife that will impress a master like Lubor, there are options. They're just not that viable. Featherlight adamantite knives will get passed from generation to generation, never needing so much as a lick of the whetstone. but adamantite ore is unique to ash, so doesn't come cheap.
And it's beyond my skill to handle.
Unique to ash. Are there any materials unique to Dalamil? Something which could be mixed with iron to refine it. Make it lighter.
What are you getting at?
You said that Lubor trained you to work iron. Then that's what he'll expect you to use. But he would have known that it would either be too heavy or too brittle for a carving knife. Perhaps his Dalamil remark wasn't a riddle, but a hint.
If it's cheap metal you're using, then there's always limestone, I suppose. Folk first settled Dalamil to get at her mineral deposits. And, if you know the trick, it can be melted down in the furnace to drive out impurities from low-quality iron.
Bloody hell! That must be it! I don't suppose you know the trick, do you?
It's hardly my speciality, but I've been around enough blacksmiths to know how it works.
Looks like I've got some learning to do. Clive, I hate to ask after all that you've done for me, but...
The limestone? Fine. I can hardly abandon you now. Besides, I want to know if this is the answer to Lubor's little riddle.
I can't thank you enough, Clive. You'll have no trouble finding limestone over in the terraces. The place is bloody made of it.
Then I suppose I'll meet you back at the forge.
Right you are. I'll see you shortly. So, do you crush it up, or just throw it in the furnace?
Okay, so all that stone is limestone. Gotcha. Alright, so we'll be heading through the gate to check it out then. Lovely. So adamantite is unique to ash. So even though we've encountered adamantoys, they do not drop the item, I suppose, which is kind of interesting. Like, I thought you'd be able to get it off of their shells or something like that. But it's a mineral unique to ash, so that's a bit of a change.
We should get going soon.
What do you want? Directions? Either take this road to the Fang, or piss off back the way you came.
Ah, I'm not too late.
What is it, Lubor?
A question that I neglected to ask earlier. Where is it that you're bound?
To Drake's Fang. To finish Hugo Kupka.
Just as I thought. Then allow me to share a secret. Drake's Fang is currently riddled with royalists. Tolmeki and Walud are allies, and as you've seen, their soldiers work hand in glove. But no nation has ever before allowed a foreign army to make a barracks of its holiest of holies.
Not by choice, at least.
And there's more. A man on the inside of the Fang has failed to report for several days. I fear there may be more trouble lying in wait for you on the road ahead.
Isn't there always?
If you're determined to beard the lion's den, then promise me one thing. That you will enter via the mines, where the guard is lightest. I've lost one Cid already. If I lose another, people will start to think me careless.
I don't plan on dying. Not before Kupka does, anyway.
Well, so long as you have a plan.
Okay. Oh, we got new music.
Drake's Fang should be just beyond these springs. Shall we press on?
Come on, girl, the gate's open now, we can press on. Don't tell me you put down roots.
He's hungry. Spring lime.
One rock looks a lot like another. But hopefully this is what Sava needs.
So I assume Joshua and Yote are on
We should get going soon.
their way to witness another Mother Crystal's destruction.
Hanging lanterns, keep the darkness from your... Just look at the...
When we go to finish Hugo Kupka, we should also be able to take out the Mother Crystal in another swift blow. 2 birds, 1 Mother Crystal. Mayhap.
I wasn't sure how much you'd need, but I hope this is enough.
A brittle white stone that grows in the restorative hot springs near Dalamil. When dried and milled into a fine powder, it can be added to molten iron to purge the metal of impurities.
You are one of the good ones, you know that. You and that merchant both, she's got quite a gift for teaching that one. Now, time to see if limestone is the secret weapon we were hoping for.
Five years later.
That'll do, I reckon. A knife forged from the very rocks of Dalamil. Her spirit, if you will.
It's a fine-looking blade.
I only hope Master Lubor agrees.
That sounds like my cue. And just as well. I was getting tired of waiting.
I'm sorry, Forge Master Lubor.
Let's take a look then, shall we? First things first, Sava, do you think this is a carving knife worthy of the fine people of Dalamil?
I'd like to think so. But what do you think?
What do I think indeed? It's sharp-ish, but it won't last long with hard use. And it's heavy, heavier than it should be. You might not think it just to hold it for a moment, but sell that to a cook and you'll never hear the end of it. It looks like someone paid a visit to the terraces. The limestone was a step in the right direction, granted, but one that still leaves you short of the mark.
And I was so certain I had it all worked out.
I don't know who you found to teach you that little trick, but it certainly shows initiative. Next question. How much do you think I would charge if I'd made this?
Well, if it took you even a fraction of the time it took me, I would say you could demand a heavy purse.
And who would be able to pay that? The butcher? The hunter? The cooks over at the inn? Dalamil is home to humble traders, not wealthy lords and ladies. Rule number 1 in any business, Sava, know your customers.
Yes, Forge Master.
This is just about passable. But only just. I'd say you're worth keeping around a little longer. Starting tomorrow, you'll have an anvil of your own.
I will. Thank you. I was wondering, what would you do if you were asked to forge a carving knife?
I'd do what I always do. Ask who it's for. If it was for the butcher, I'd make sure it holds an edge. For the hunter, I'd make it as tough as Titan. For the cook, light as a feather. And for the nobleman, I'd make it cost an absolute fortune.
There goes a master, all right.
It looks like congratulations are in order.
I couldn't have done it without you. So much for the Forge Master's riddle, though, eh? The spirit of Dalamil had nothing to do with limestone or anything much at all. Meaning, I had you run around for no good reason.
You've passed your test. That's all that matters. You'll have a forge of your own in no time.
And when I do, I'll craft you the finest carving knife you have ever seen.
I feel like this dude took away no lessons from this. Like, he's just as clueless as he was that when we started. Like, he needed his hand held through every single step of the way. Wasn't even sure when we got to the end when he'd crafted his knife. He wasn't sure of his work. He completely doubted himself the whole way. It was purely guesswork that he only got through because he ran around asking us to help him out and, you know, inquiring with other people, and then created a failure of a knife. And then he was like the spirit of Dalamil is the people. Is the people that are there. That's what he was talking about. The butcher, you know, the hunter, the cook, all of that kind of stuff. Like, that's the spirit of Dalamil. That's who you're making it, the knife for. That depends on, you know, on the knife. And he's like, oh, well, guess it was all for nothing then. And apparently he's going to get his own anvil. I'm like, all right, wish you the best of luck, pal. But he seems completely clueless still.
Thank you, Clive. I honestly don't think I could have done it without all your help.
All right, mate. Best of luck. Let's do this other one.
Yes, they're quite sort.
Yeah, didn't really feel like he learned anything out of that. Like, he's being told certain things, but then he's just like, oh well.
Everything I've worked for, ruined.
All right, let's find out what Xaver's problem is.
All those years of toil, every coin I've ever earned is tied up in this place.
Are you all right?
The baths are closed. Leave me be. On second thought, perhaps you are just what I need. Might your services be for hire?
That depends on the job.
I'd have you save my business, the baths. The water's turned scalding hot and all the crystals in Dalamil wouldn't be enough to cool it. I've no doubt that my woes stem from the water's source. But I can't go and investigate for fear of my customers thinking I've abandoned the place. I'm bound to these baths in more ways than one. I beg of you, go to Dusnoff Terraces and tell me what you find there.
All right.
All right. I'll go and take a look.
Wonderful. It's not far. Leave the market by the south gate. The smell of sulphur will guide you the rest of the way. These baths are all that keep me from an ignoble end in a debtor's prison. My livelihood, my very life, is at stake.
Hot water. Little bit of hot water, mate. All right, let's go and have a look at the terraces.
Finally, we'll be able to get what...
We should get going soon. Do you have water?
Oh, hang on. Oh, yep, I've just got to curve all the way around.
Good girl.
Oh, let me talk to them while I'm on...
Be safe.
Chocobo back.
How do? Trader, are you? Seeking your fortune down in the golden sands of Dalamil? From mercantile stock myself, as it happens. You'd never guess, but I was born just down the road in Dravost. And like me old ma and pa, I've been wandering the world hunting Gilbard's blessing ever since. Reckon I might have found it too. You've heard about the famous healing waters they got round these parts, right? Well, I'm thinking if I can find a little pool of my own, dress it up a bit, lay on drinks and fancies and whatnot, I'd have a license to mint Gil. Soothing your aches and pains with a grape in your gob and a glass in your hand. There's nothing people wouldn't pay.
Cool story. Oh god, what's going on here? We got bombs in the hot spring. Cool. Bombs in the hot springs. We've got a fight on our hands. That's gonna be the problem with the bathhouse then. And then there's another path that goes out all over here. Cool. Looks like we can go there from here, actually, as well. It's kind of interesting that the maps reveal names of locations before you even go there. So it kind of gets you an early idea on how expansive these places will be.
Something awful's taken up residence in the springs. You'll turn back if you know what's good for you.
Alright, mate. You seen this sword on my back? You seen my dog? I'll be fine.
By the flames.
Whoa, they've all activated. Bath bombs. Them being called bath bombs is so good.
Well done. Out of the frying pan.
Oh, Old Faithful. Oh my god. I like the different elemental bombs. Coronation. The bombs are like little fallen technology as well. As you can see that when the bombs die, they also drop a little fallen orb like the flans do. Okay. I'm like, why isn't it doing it?
There you are.
The fuck? Nice. Old Faithful. It's a bomb with a crown. But yeah, the flans and the bombs, when they die, they all drop the little fallen orbs.
Let's cool things down a bit. Let's hope it's enough to keep the baths from boiling.
Cool. Let's head on back to town then. Probably just best to do this. Up.
Well, this is no good.
Is it true what I'm hearing?
The finest,
the most fragrant herbs and
fresh bread, warm from the oven.
Made from the stoutest. There he is. The man who... I was hoping we'd be seeing you again. The baths grow more bearable by the moment. It won't be long now before we are back to business as usual.
I'm glad to hear it.
Now, tell me this. What did you find at the terraces? What threatened to make me a pauper?
Not what I expected, that's for certain.
You tell a fine story. That's not to say I don't believe you, though. Creatures made of flame, eh? That's something new to worry about. But I burdened you with my worries enough already. Here, a small something by way of thanks. Right. It's high time I got back to work. With a little luck, the day might yet be salvaged.
I think it's 395. No, was it 350 or 395 for our reputation at the Hideaway? We got more scarletite. We can make the next. We can make the other thing at the Hideaway.
It's just as well I sent you to the terraces in my stead. It sounds like I'd have been burnt to a crisp.
Where's my free bath, please, for my troubles?
The scrubbing is almost finished. We appreciate your patience.
I would like a bath, please.
Look, Father. Hot water.
Alright, let's head back to the Hideaway. We can craft a new item with that scarletite and the gelatinous ooze. A new missive has been delivered to my chambers.
One of Sid's associates.
Family, more likely. I heard tell he's highborn.
Oh, they're talking shit about Byron.
I do believe I did our house proud back there in Dalamil. I even suffered your new friend's slights with dignity.
I think we've got a new hunt that was available for us to do as well, if I am not mistaken.
Sid's going to find Cooper.
Back, are ya? What do you want?
What do you want? Drake Slayer's bracelets. There we go. And a whole 3 extra HP and 10 defense.
Should last you a good while. That it? Fine.
So that puts our gear all in the purple. Which is nice. Just our armor, at least. A Desert Alliance. Sid II, I trust you'll forgive me for putting you and your dear uncle to the test. I am confident that a man of your position can understand the importance of earning one's trust, especially in times like these. For what it is worth, you now have earned mine, and I can assure you it shall not easily be relinquished. May this be the start of a fruitful relationship. Rosanna. Nice. There you go. Lovely. And with that one, we'll be bringing this episode of Final Fantasy XVI to a close. Thank you so much for joining me today. Next time, we'll head back to that lovely region of Dalmatia. We'll make our way to another Mother Crystal to finish off Hugo Kupka. We'll make for Drake's Fang, and we'll see what's awaiting us there. I think Joshua will be around there too, so maybe we'll get a reunion finally, but we'll have to wait and see. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.